Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Please join me in the invocation. On behalf of all here, in all of the faiths and beliefs that are present, we remember all of those who lost their lives on September 11th, 2001. And we honor the heroism of all those that rushed to come to the aid of the innocent victims of those heinous attacks. Our hearts and souls go out to those who lost their lives for their fellow citizens that fateful day. And we ask for the protection of all the first responders who risk their lives for us every day. And for the soldiers, sailors, Marines, airmen, and Coast Guard men who protect us around the clock and around the world. Amen.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kody Wooten, and I serve as the student trustee for Nash Community College. This morning we come together to remember the tragedy that occurred 19 years ago when our way of life, our very freedom, came under attack in a series of deliberate and deadly terrorist attacks. We are privileged to have Captain Michael Whitley join us today to share his thoughts on that tragic day. Captain Michael A. Whitley began his career with the Rocky Mount Police Department in 1993 and has been employed full-time with them for over 25 years. He worked for the North Carolina Department of Corrections, now the Department of Public Safety, for 2 years before becoming a police officer. He was born in Wake County, but was raised just outside of Spring Hope here in Nash County. He then enlisted into the Army National Guard for North Carolina in 1989 after high school, where he served for 10 years. He obtained an Associate's in Criminal Justice Technology from Nash Community College in 2004 and a Bachelor of Arts in Justice Studies in 2004 from North Carolina Wesleyan College. He received his Master's of Science in Criminal Justice Forensic Psychology from Liberty University in March of this year. Mike obtained all of his college education while working full-time for the Rocky Mount Police Department. He has been awarded his Advanced Law Enforcement Certification from the North Carolina Criminal Justice and Training and Standards Commission. He is a current certified criminal justice instructor and has been teaching at Nash Community College for over 20 years as an adjunct instructor in the BLET program. Mike started his law enforcement career as a uniformed patrol officer. He was promoted to senior police officer and assigned to the training unit. He was later promoted to corporal, where he was then transferred to the criminal investigations unit, working general crimes and burglary. He was promoted and brought back to the training unit, where he was responsible for coordinating and managing the entire police department's training function. He was promoted to lieutenant, where he then became responsible for grants, and managing department policies. Mike was then promoted to the rank of captain over support services, which is the second largest division in the Rocky Mount Police Department. He was responsible for telecommunications, animal control, evidence, records, crime prevention, crime analysts, technology, school resource officers, grants, and accreditation. Mike officially retired from the Rocky Mount Police Department this past Monday, August 31st of 2020. Mike has been married to his wife Lee for over 21 years, and together they have 3 children, Jennifer, Caroline, and Anthony, all of whom are adults. He also has 2 granddaughters, Addison and Emerson. Now, if you will join me in welcoming Captain Whitley.
Hello, my name is Mike Whitley. I wanted to try to frame my message around serving and the sacrifices of serving. On September 11th, 2001, Americans were brought to their knees as 2,977 people were killed and over 6,000 others were injured in the World Trade Centers, the Pentagon, and on 4 aircraft that were hijacked with the intent to kill many more. By 2018, at least 10,000 more people have been diagnosed with 9/11 related cancers. It is my belief that Americans were not only upset and angry and grief-stricken after this event, but were also fearful of what was to come next. On that catastrophic day, many first responders, 343 of them firefighters, and 60 law enforcement officers gave up their own lives unselfishly so that others might live. This remains as one of the most memorable events in our history where lives were taken senselessly. What do we learn from 9/11? We learned that even as strong as we believe we were and America was, that we were vulnerable to death and destruction right here at home. Just as what we had seen for years in foreign lands. This event sparked something inside of young men and women who may never have really given much thought to the armed forces, to enlist in our military branches, becoming public servants with our federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies, becoming firefighters, paramedics, and even 911 operators. It is that same spark that we need again without that catastrophic event for people to serve. We honor all of our heroes who have served prior to, during, and since 9/11. We will never forget the ultimate sacrifice paid by so many so that others may live in peace. Our men and women in uniform, whether in the armed forces, police officers, deputies, as well as our fire, EMS, and 911 services, continue to provide that same level of service now. There have been many events since 9/11 that may cause a person to think about public service and even the armed forces. To that hesitation, I want to quote from the book of Isaiah, chapter 6, verses 8 through 9 of the NIV. It's a little lengthy, but I think I can help you kind of bring it home. In the book of Isaiah, Isaiah himself had seen the seraphim flying and glorifying the Lord. He proclaimed that he had unclean lips and lived among unclean people, and he had seen the Lord Almighty. One of the seraphim flew to him with a live fire coal in his hand, which he had taken with tongs from the altar, touched his mouth and said, "See, this has touched your lips. Your guilt is taken away, and your sin atoned for." Then I heard the voice of the Lord saying, "Who shall I send? And who will go for us?" And I said, "Here I am, send me." The Lord then said, "Go and tell this people, be ever hearing, but never understanding. Be ever seeing, but never perceiving." This is the same calling spirit that I believe those called into public service hear. Isaiah was chosen and equipped to serve. We believe that we are sent to a certain place for a reason. We believe in a greater power and a greater purpose than what we know and possibly even could understand. In the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verses 7 through 9 of the NIV, Jesus is teaching his disciples that blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. This is the same teaching that we as public servants need to hear. We are to show mercy. By doing this, we ourselves will be shown mercy. Be pure in heart is a big responsibility, and the ultimate reward of seeing God cannot be matched. Being a peacemaker is what our jobs as law enforcement officers is all about. We should use these as guiding principles in performing our jobs daily. What do all these scriptures and statistics have to do with you? Well, we are commanded by not only the Bible, but our professional code of ethics, regardless of what profession you serve in, whether it be in law enforcement, fire service, EMS, nurses, and even educators, to be kind to one another, to do what is honest in thought and deed, and to be respectful to one another, and to help each other in any way possible. We should always remember the lessons learned from 9/11 and the importance of being vigilant, planning, preparation, and training. The public service profession is a profession of sacrifice. It takes people just like you with a special set of skills in understanding, being compassionate, and a general nature of looking out for one another to serve. Thank you for serving. Thank you for pausing today to remember those who were on the front lines and have paid the ultimate sacrifice for us all against terrorism. We shall never forget 9/11, as it serves as a reminder not only of those we have lost, but to train hard every day. You can only draw out of your training what you put in it. Be prepared. Remain vigilant. Thank you again for giving me an opportunity to come and share in this moment with you. I ask that the Lord our God will bless you and protect you. Thank you. Attention. Detail. Post colors. Forward march. Post colors. Present humps. Order! Halt! I'll bow. Peace. Forward. March. Detail. Halt. I'll bow. Peace.
My name is Kathryn Davis, and I serve as the Secretary of the Student Government Association. We would like to thank Captain Whitley for coming here today to remember one of the most tragic days in our history and to honor those who lost their lives that day. We ask that you remember the courage of our policemen and women, firefighters, and EMS who rushed into 2 burning towers to bring thousands to safety. The only way we will triumph over terrorism and conquer the senseless tragedy of that horrible day is by celebrating the kindness of the human spirit. Today, as we remember those lost, I ask you to join me in faith that the good will not only endure, they will prevail. Thank you.